Hey everybody, how's it going? I just wanted to go over some recent updates that College Board put out. It changes a lot of what we're doing in terms of review and what we need to prepare for. So I wanted to go over that with you and just give you some updates about how this affects our schedule, over the closure, and when we return. So this is a link from the College Board website that I've posted on Google Classroom, so you can view this link on your own as well. And what they talk about here are two major changes to the AP exam and to our actual class. So for all AP classes, the main thing that they're putting out today is that traditional face-to-face exam administrations will not take place. So even if we return to Walnut High School on April 20th and we are ready to, administer those AP exams, we're not going to administer those AP exams at Walnut High School. Okay, in place of that, what we're going to do is, or what College Board is doing, is they're allowing students to take exams from home. So the exam administration, it says for this year, students can take a 45-minute online exam at home. And they talk about they're developing those exams right now, so they don't know exactly what's going to be on the exam, what type of questions, things like that, but they have released a few updates about the exam. Now they talk about how because schools have been closed, there's a lot of teachers that haven't been able to cover all of the content. So because of that, they say that it says the exam will only include topics and skills most AP teachers and students have already covered in class by early March. So for a lot of classes, what that means is they're taking only the first 75% of the curriculum and testing you on that. The last 25%, the last quarter of the curriculum, they're not going to test you on it. And they talk about colleges are supporting this, and they've done it in the past in emergencies. You can take the exam on any device, computer, tablet, or smartphone, and you can even take a photo of handwritten work. So I'm sure they'll give more details about how that's going to work, but right now that's all we know. They talk about test security here, not as important, but let's look at, so down here as we scroll down, they talk about the course-specific exam information. So every single AP course is affected by this. So they go through and they talk about what content they're going to test. So look at the columns here. The first thing it says which the subject is, and it says the exam questions will only cover this first column, and the exam questions will not cover the second column. And they talk about the question type and then the dates. So for each class, it's different. Right? But if we scroll down to Computer Science A, what they say here is the test will cover units 1 through 7, and it won't cover units 8 through 10. So if we go through and look at our curriculum, what that means is, right, here's our units. They're going to cover primitive types, using objects, Boolean expressions and if statements, iteration, which is loops, writing classes, arrays, and array lists. It will not cover two-dimensional arrays, inheritance, and recursion. Now we've already covered these, we've done lectures on these in class, we've done testing on it, so I'm not worried about covering those again on the final. So what we're going to be looking at in terms of the AP exam is just units 1 through 7. Okay, so that's what they're testing us on the AP exam. Obviously this affects the free response portion of the AP exam because they've told us that it was guaranteed that there were going to be 4 free response questions and one of those was going to be a two-dimensional array. Now we don't know what is going to be on the free response. I don't even know what the exam is going to look like. It's only 45 minutes. So obviously they can't give you 40 multiple choice questions and 4 free response questions that they would expect you to take over an hour. So I don't know if it's going to be all multiple choice. It sounds like they're saying that you can take pictures of handwritten work, so they're leaving it open to having like handwritten work, so they could ask you to do free response questions. I'm not sure. They're going to release all that information on April 3rd. So it says further up in this page that they're going to release all this information about what the exams are going to look like, right? The full exam schedule, specific free response question types that will be on each AP exam, and additional testing details will be available on April 3rd. So that's when we will know more, but for now just know the AP exams are still happening, but they're happening at home. there's going to be 2 test dates. They talk about exam date 1 and exam date 2, and they say one of them will be earlier and one will be later. The reason they're doing that is because some students are like, we're already out of school and I'm forgetting all the material, so I'd rather take it now. Or they'll allow students to take the later test to give you additional review. Because we're doing this review, I would still recommend taking the later test. It's probably going to be in May, and then the earlier test will probably be earlier than that. I'm doing that just based off intuition. I don't actually know that that's going to be the case, but I would still consider reviewing the material and going through. Now the second part that they don't really highlight on this page very much is in an email they sent to all teachers. All right, in this email they say the same stuff about the AP exam administration, but they also say daily online review AP classes. And they say beginning on Wednesday, March 25th, students and schools will have access to free live AP review sessions delivered by AP teachers from across the country. And it's going to cover the reviewing everything from the first 75% of the course. What they don't say on here is that they're also going to supplement by releasing lessons from the last 25% of the course. And it says that the schedule will be posted online today. So if we look at, I don't have the schedule, let's see, right here. And if we scroll down to a AP Computer Science A, right, they have a schedule here where they are having online live lessons for 45 minutes about lesson 9.1, 9.2, and 9.3. Now obviously they're covering Unit 9, which is not on the AP exam. However, I'm guessing, because they haven't released a full schedule yet, after this they're going to start releasing review materials. Okay, so this is going to be additional review materials that you can use to review for the AP exam. Now because of that, because College Board's releasing this, and this is going to reiterate a lot of the concepts that we've already covered, and this is coming straight from College Board, I'm not going to post daily videos because this is going to replace those daily videos. Right? Instead, I'm going to still hold open office hours every Tuesday and Thursday, and then I'm also going to assign these assignments on College Board that will help us to review for the exam. But I'm going to check it out, March 25th. I kind of want to see what the videos look like, and if I think that they're releasing good content, it seems like it's on par with what we've been doing, then I'm just going to have this fully replace the videos. If I feel like, well, they're not really covering the content the same way that I would, or it's not exactly what I think is best for us, then I'm going to continue to release daily videos. Okay, but I just wanted to update you on this. There's not going to be a online lecture today. On Monday, I'm going to release the for loop practice that I was planning on doing today, and then on Tuesday I'll have office hours for any questions on either the for or while loop review homework, or if you have questions about the AP exam and how this affects you. Remember that this is for every AP class. It's not just computer science. There's no face-to-face exams for any AP courses. So scroll down, see how this affects your individual courses that you're taking, right? So you can adjust how you're reviewing for the exam. And then remember, on April 3rd, you can come back and see when these test dates are, the early test date and the late test date. Okay? Obviously, all of these are assuming that you're still taking the exam. In the email, they've also advertised that they are willing to give free refunds without the, whatever it was, $40 late registration fee or the cancellation fee. They will give you a full refund if you guys decide that you don't want to take the exam anymore because you are affected by this coronavirus outbreak and you feel like you can't review for the exam. If you're here listening to this video and you've been following along with the videos so far, I think you should continue to take the exam. I think that you will be prepared for it, especially now that they're changing it, so it's only 45 minutes and it's only covering the first 75% of the units. I feel like everybody can be prepared for that. Obviously, some people, it's out of their hands and maybe they're affected a little bit more than other people by this school closure or the coronavirus outbreak, and that's understandable, but I would not cancel your test just because you feel like you don't want to study. Okay, make sure we're still staying up with the content, and I really feel like everybody can be prepared for this exam. So I'm looking forward to your questions. Again, you can either post questions on the Google Classroom, You can email me privately if you have a private question about how this affects you, or you can show up to office hours on Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning, and I'll be there. All right, guys, I hope this is helpful to you. Again, if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing from you. Have a good day.